I'm not competing in powerlifting to win. Well, welcome to another vlog, another episode of this powerlifting journey that we're going through. I did try last week to try and film something, but alas, it just didn't really go very well. Turned the camera on, started talking, and then it just didn't flow. I was hoping that this whole powerlifting thing was actually going to become a daily vlog, but I'm actually A, quite glad I didn't do that, and B, it just goes back to A, where I'm just quite glad, because it would have been mildly hellish trying to do daily again, because daily is something else. I have absolutely no idea if this camera's going to stay there, but fingers crossed. Quick, tiny little update on how progress has been with the current peaking cycle, me making weight, and obviously the burning question in your room, why I still haven't had a haircut and still haven't shaved. Friday's powerlifting session was heavy singles at like 90%, and it's easy to say that was probably one of the hardest sessions of this prep so far. Certainly mentally. You know, just constantly unracking, re-racking weight that's heavy relatively, and doing it multiple sets over 6 times over a 3-hour workout or some bollocks. It was hard. It was really, really hard. And it's just part of the process. Some of the things I've struggled in previous powerlifting competitions is kind of like understanding the feeling of what your 1 rep max feels like. So you're kind of preparing yourself for that during a peaking cycle. And Friday's workout was just on another level. And making weight hasn't been too easy, to be perfectly honest. You know, I did go through that process. Remember, I said in previous vlogs about how I didn't want to track anything and show you that you can make weight without tracking, etc. And it's been fine. This morning I weighed in at 84.7 kilos. So I'm only 1.8 kilograms roughly away from my competing weight. And I still got about 2 weeks to go. So hopefully this week, if I get into the low 84s, I'll just do like kind of a water cut and a making weight strategy thing next week, which I'm kind of hoping to speak to my friend Steve about tomorrow morning. Just because I've done it before, like I've dropped 5% of my total body weight in a week before the competition, but I found I had quite a large performance drop, and I'm quite interested to see if Steve has any kind of other understandings of stuff that he's maybe done with either some of his clients before or wherever else. But maybe I'll introduce you him on my like Insta stories or something tomorrow. Steve, his name's Steve Kemp. He's a nice guy. Now, there are a couple of pre-workouts that I've used quite recently. The first one and main one is the De Novo Sups Ignite that I've been using, the sour apple. I love it. It's really, really good. 300 milligrams of caffeine, a few little bits and pieces that just, you know, you get a good focus. It's a good pre-workout. However, I have run out a tub of it and you can't buy it in the UK. So I'm having to, you know, choose another one. And I was in the States in New York in a GNC, and they had the Ghost lineup or whatever it is. It's kind of like, I like YouTube, and I watch the likes of Christian Guzman and, you know, the Max Tuning and all those boys. And they like the Ghost stuff, so I was like, I'll buy a couple of tubs. And I bought them both. Both taste very good, but they're not quite as good as the Ignite, unfortunately. But what can you do? I do add a little bit of creatine to it with the My Protein's creatine monohydrate. It's cheap, it's simple, because I've been dosing with that for the past 2 weeks or so, just adding creatine. I got out of the habit of doing it. I'm really bad for it, but I'm back to it. And also, on another note, excuse the dishwasher powder, bought a bag of it. This was 5 kilos, I think, near enough 5 kilos, and it was like 40 quid. And I looked up the last time that I bought a bag of whey protein that was that big. It was a year ago. So it's like 5 kilos of whey protein lasts me about a year, and it cost me 40 quid. Especially when you use discounts and stuff. It was brilliant. Oh. It is not nice weather in London at the moment, but off to the gym. And I'm going to try and do this workout. Only 3 more hard ones this block. 3 more. What a workout. That was something else. Actually, a bit easier than last week. I'll kind of go over that when we get home. Right, see you in a bit. Yes, that session was actually a lot easier than I was expecting it to be. I've been kind of going into some of these training sessions fatigued, tired because I haven't slept very much, or when I say much, it's kind of like 5 or 6 hours rather than say 8 to 10. So today's session, the squats felt smooth, felt really nice, and actually basically quite easy. Bench press again, 122.5, absolute butter. Deadlifts are still tough, 207.5, 4 sets of 3. So they were hard, but not ridiculous, if that kind of made sense. You know, there was a confidence within it. So we'll see how the rest of the week goes. On Friday, I am pushing to 95% of my 1RMs, which is, it's going to be heavy and hard, but it should hopefully give me an idea of what my openers are going to be, and then give me an indication of how things are probably going to pan out for the rest of the meet. But yeah, 2 weeks to go and we're almost there. I have had a few questions about, you know, what I'm hoping from the meet itself. You know, am I hoping to go into it to win? Am I hoping it to go in to hit PBs? Am I going into it just to do it? Like, what is my goal with this powerlifting aspect of things? And many of you OGs, or the long-term followers of this vlog and these channels and social media, or whatever you want to call it, I've done more bodybuilding and I've done prep over a few different bodybuilding shows. And then now I've moved into a bit more of a performance aspect rather than aesthetic. And I'm not competing in powerlifting to win. In bodybuilding, I am, and I know I am, good enough to win competitions. Certainly if I come in the right kind of condition. In powerlifting, there are people who are quite considerably stronger than me. If you think the guy who won the world title, who just competed at the USAPL national, United States national competition, he's in the 83 kilogram category and totaled, I think, 828 kilos. I'm hoping to get 630. So there's quite a jump, and I don't consider myself weak necessarily, but I'm not quite there, and I'm not sure I ever will be. So with that, if I'm not competing to win, then what am I doing it for? Well, really, it's actually about me competing because my long-term goal is to be healthier, is to be able to run after my kids, to be able to chuck my grandchildren around maybe at some stage, to live a healthy lifestyle that ultimately doesn't cause Laura, my wife, to have to look after me necessarily. You know, I want to try and make sure that I maintain strength, that I stay healthy for that long-term aspect of life. And powerlifting in the short term allows me to get a slight purpose or a short-term purpose to go to the gym. You know, I'm performance-based. I'm going in to hit X, Y, and Z numbers, improve technique, and then a goal at the end of it is a competition of some kind. And I also want to compete with myself. You know, I want to try and be as strong as I physically can. I want to take my body beyond where it's maybe been before, because I don't know how long I'm able to do that. And I know that I'm still young, I'm still 32, and maybe when I'm 40 and 50, I maybe would have wished I pushed myself harder. But I'm making sure that I am. I'm maximizing what I have, and I'm trying to push myself further in terms of the amount of strength that I have overall. And that should also probably benefit my physique long term. I know that my legs get better, my back has more density, and again, I just feel better because I have a short-term goal overall, like a powerlifting competition. I hope you've kind of enjoyed this recap or update, or I don't know what these kind of vlogs are, but bit of training, it's enjoying it, and I'm hoping that you may be getting some sort of entertainment or at least something from the video. If you have liked it, give me a big thumbs up as always, because that really helps these videos overall, and it helps me know that you like this kind of content. Drop me a comment if you have any questions about this sort of powerlifting thing and what I'm hoping to maybe aim for afterwards. And as always, I hope you're having fun. And this is kind of episode, I suppose, 2 of the peak week cycle powerlifting thing. See you later. Yeah, I better tidy up before Laura comes home, because she's going to kill me.